Okay, so MMA is insane. Mixed martial arts is absolutely insane. It's like my brain is still a little bit on fire from what we just witnessed, but we'll take a few minutes to just see if we can do like a quick recap. So we just got done seeing UFC 261. First of all, to everybody that showed up for the fight companion, I really appreciate it. I know a lot of you really did not expect me to have someone else there. Maybe it was a little bit awkward for you guys just because you're not used to that. But, this is a man I have a tremendous amount of respect for. Every opportunity, just because of how busy he is, every opportunity I have to hang out with him and talk to him, especially to watch a fight with him for the first time, I take it. I take every opportunity. And so that was going to happen regardless. It really was. And to those of you that were in there, respectful, asking him questions, just being adults, really appreciate that. Means the world. But the fights tonight, oh my goodness, man. It's like at this point I'm supposed to be trying to get some sleep, but it's pretty obvious to me right now that there's going to be very little sleep going on right now because my brain just keeps going and going and going and going. So for the first fight, Anthony Lionheart Smith versus Jimmy Crute. This is a fight that, you know, the fight kind of fell under the radar a little bit just because of how top heavy the rest of the fight card was. You've got Usman in there, you've got Jorge Masvidal in there, you've got Valentina Shevchenko in there, you've got Thug Rose in there, you've got Wei Lee in there, you've got Chris Weidman, you've got Uriah Hall. The card was essentially full of stars, big names. And so Anthony Smith and Jimmy Crute kind of fell under the radar a little bit, but that fight just set the tone for the main card, and in a negative way, right? Because fight starts off, first of all, Anthony Smith is doing an incredible job with the jab. Really good job. And this is something that we talked about during the stream. And this is something that we're starting to see a lot more lately. A lot of fighters are really starting to develop their jab. We saw that with Usman in his last fight against Gilbert Burns. And Anthony was really, really controlling that fight with the jab, doing a really solid job with that. And then he throws a leg kick, and immediately we see the damage. Jimmy Crute unable to put weight on that lead leg. I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know the mechanics of it. I don't understand the biology. I don't know. Because usually when we see that kind of damage, like when we saw it against Sugar Sean O'Malley, and also when we saw that against Henry Cejudo, it was kind of the low calf kick that we saw do that. But this time, I don't think it was low. I believe it was just a little bit above the knee. But somehow, the kick was still able to do nerve damage to the point where Jimmy was unable to put his feet on the ground. I mean, every time he would try to step on it, it gives out. And he was still very resilient. He really wanted to keep fighting. He didn't want the fight to stop. The referee was, not the referee, the doctor was asking him, are you good? Can you go? Can you fight? Can you fight? He's like, yeah, I can do it. I'm good. Let's go. But of course, where there's will, if your body is not exactly cooperating with you, no amount of will, no amount of desire is going to bypass what your body is actually doing. If your body is shut down and if your body is not responding, for the safety of the fighter, we can't let you continue. And so the fight got stopped, TKO Anthony Smith. And so we're still recovering from that. We're like, okay, this is a little bit weird. So far the card has been really good, but see, now we're starting to see injuries, and we don't want that, man. We see the knockouts are okay, TKOs are okay. It's fine seeing fighters bleed here and there, but we don't like seeing injuries. We don't like seeing broken bones, arms bent in the opposite direction, in the direction they're not supposed to be bent. And so we're hoping, okay, here we go. Chris Weidman versus Uriah Hall is the next fight. This is going to be a good one. It's going to be competitive. These two guys have fought before. Chris, defeated Uriah Hall. This is Chris Weidman that is rejuvenated. Chris Weidman that comes in shape. He's ready to go. A man who says that he believes he can get that title shot. He can win the title. And he wants to win the title and defend the title at least one more time and then be done. That's literally what he said. I'm going to win the title, defend it one more time, and then be done. And so this was supposed to be the fight that starts him off back on that journey of that redemption back to the title. This is a man who so far has had incredible bad luck in that octagon, winning a fight only to end up losing it for some reason. And it happened again. He was looking really good, and then he throws one kick. Now, this part right here, I could be wrong, and feel free to correct me, but I refuse to watch that back. I don't know why, for some reason, this one really got me. Like, this one really, really, really got me. Like, we've seen this a few times, but this one, it truly got me, just because there was, it had an eerie tone to it, feel to it, just because of who it happened to. It's almost like there's like dark. I mean, this is gonna sound corny, just because I know a lot of you guys don't believe in that stuff, but it almost felt like there was some dark forces of whatever just hovering around Chris Weidman. It's like what is going on, bro? He throws a kick. I don't know if it was a kick to the thigh, or if he was aiming for the thigh or above the knee. Or I don't know if it was a low calf kick. I don't know. I'm not watching it again to know. So you guys have to tell me in the comment section. Was it a low calf kick? Or was it a regular style roundhouse to the leg where you're targeting above the knee? Because it was something. Uriah checks the kick. And it's so weird how when the catastrophic injury happens, it's almost like the fighter does not feel it. Right? It's like the injury happened, his leg snapped. He didn't start screaming right away. It was when he went to set the foot back down, and then there is no foot to set back down. That's when he realized, oh my God, something is catastrophically wrong. I don't have a shin anymore. The man falls back and starts weeping, and the referee ends the fight. And I'm just sitting there, just blown away. Mesmerized. It makes no sense. Why? How? What is it with Chris? What is it with this guy? Why can't this guy catch a freaking break? It just seems like just bad luck after bad luck after bad luck. And of course that raised a very interesting topic between me and my professor. We were just sitting down talking about, how like Muay Thai, like the Muay Thai style of kicking. Because, I mean, the one thing I know is that Chris sat down on that kick. He sat down on that kick. He rotated the hip on that kick. He was trying to throw it Muay Thai style, 100%. And so that raised the question, just considering how dangerous that is right now in MMA, especially when you're not setting the kick up, when you're not preceding the kick with a jab or something to at least set it up, when you're throwing it naked, and you're throwing it Muay Thai style with so much power. Yes, you get the benefits of, if it lands, it does an incredible amount of damage to the opponent. But if it gets checked, I mean, devastating. Devastating if it gets checked. And so it just raises a question. Maybe the best option for roundhouse kicks to the leg specifically is no longer the Muay Thai kick, the Muay Thai style. Maybe it would just be better to snap it, to use a more karate style leg kick or a more taekwondo style leg kick. Maybe that would be safer, because, in mixed martial arts and in kickboxing, I mean, the whole entire goal is, of course, to damage your opponent without hurting yourself. But if you're throwing a kick that could just a slight adjustment, it backfires catastrophically. I mean, the word I'm using is correct. It is a catastrophic injury. He's not going to be back fighting in a long, long time. Maybe never. So, as MMA fighters are examining and looking at their tools and trying to figure out what the right tools to use at the right time is, perhaps it's wise at this point to just abandon, or at least limit, the usage of the Muay Thai style roundhouse leg kick, where you're rotating the hip and you're throwing with incredible amount of power. Maybe reserve that for body kicks, because I've talked about this. You're not breaking your shin from kicking someone. It's the shin bone. It's the largest. It's the largest bone in your body. I think that's correct. Forgive me, those of you that are biology majors, if I just completely butchered that. But I do know that it's a very large bone, and if you get kicked right there, you could you could break your shin kicking another man's shin. But you don't have the same level of danger if you're blasting Muay Thai style kicks, at the body, at the rib, and even if the opponent is blocking it the right way and you're catching their elbow a little bit, there's a higher chance you're gonna break their elbow before you break your leg. Of course, you're still gonna leave the fight sore because you are a kicking bone. If you're blasting kicks to the head, you're kicking a human skull. It still hurts, but it just seems more reasonable to me right now to just focus on the Muay Thai style roundhouse if you're going to the body, to the head, but then with the legs, maybe focus on obliques, front leg side kicks, just low risk type of attacks as when you're going down to the midsection, as opposed to what happened today. Because this one is gonna take, especially because Chris has been talking about, the man's been talking about, he just literally said he wants to win the title, defend it once, and then be done. So he's already thinking about retirement. And when you consider the amount of work he's going to need to do right now to be able to get back into MMA, you consider where he's already at, his age, the fact that he's got to have to get the leg surgically repaired tonight. I guarantee he's already in surgery right now. The leg has to be surgically repaired tonight. They can't wait. They can't wait around. It has to be done now. Surgically repaired, and then he has to let it heal. Then he has to do physical therapy, which could last months. We're looking at a whole entire year of recovery. That's just to get the leg back working, right? For him to be able to walk again. Chris is not going to be walking anytime soon, for God's sake. And then after that, psychologically speaking, we got to figure out a way to get Chris Weidman to be comfortable with kicking again. And we saw what happened to Anderson Silva after he broke his shin. You see the way he kicks now. He's pulling back a little bit. The confidence is no longer there. Psychologically speaking, and Chris is a psychology major, so I'm sure he understands the amount of work that he's going to need to do to get himself mentally ready to step back into the octagon, knowing how bad that injury was, and actually be willing to try to throw that kick again. We might never see the man in the octagon again. This might be it. This might be it. And can you really blame him? He's accomplished a lot in MMA. He won the championship, defended that belt, I believe, 3 times. Defended once against Anderson Silva, against Lyoto Machida, against Vitor Belfort. I think I might be forgetting one more, but I do know for sure he beat Anderson again, beat Vitor Belfort and Machida. He's made a lot of money. His family is secure. He's good. If he decides to walk away, I don't blame the man. Nobody can blame him. This is bad. And so that fight happened. And we're still trying to gather ourselves oh my God, this is crazy. This is nuts. And then next fight coming up, I believe the next fight that was coming up was Thug Rose. Well, no, it wasn't. I don't think it was Rose. I think the next fight was Valentina Shevchenko. It doesn't matter what the order was. Let's talk about Valentina Shevchenko versus Jessica Andrade. What can you say? Going into the fight, I was saying, I think this fight is going to be very similar to Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Jessica Andrade. They fought before. Joanna was able to just keep her distance, picked her apart from a distance, and that was it. But of course, when you're dealing with Valentina Shevchenko, Bullet, when you're dealing with that woman who is so skilled, and it was so nice having my professor right there watching the fight with me, because you had someone else who could appreciate the level of skill that she was demonstrating. And you saw Jessica trying to muscle her way through the entire thing. It was kind of funny seeing that. She, in those grappling situations, you saw Jessica just focusing so much on strength, but the fact that she was dealing with another woman who is more skilled than her, understood the human anatomy better, understood grappling better, had better leverage, your strength gets completely rendered useless. And that's exactly what we saw. She out-grappled her, out-struck her, and then she finished her. She finished her in crucifix, took her down, ended up in crucifix, and just pounded her with elbows, busted her face open, The referee was watching to see if Jessica was going to be able to, escape that position. But the moment somebody has that crucifix on you really, really tight, it is so difficult to escape. If it's jujitsu, if it's just jujitsu, that's different. There are a lot of things you can do. You can kind of take your time, breathe, protect your arm, just make sure that no one's, he's not going for Americanas. Just stay tight and just trying to wait it out a little bit. But when there's striking involved, that is one of the most defenseless positions a fighter can find themselves in. And that's exactly where Jessica was. And she got absolutely brutalized. Referee stops the fight, and that's it. Valentina Shevchenko wins another one. Shocker. Right now, her and Amanda Nunes, honestly, they have no competition. They really don't have any competition. Now, of course, Amanda Nunes is set to fight the Venezuelan Vikes, whatever, however you say her nickname. But we all know how that fight is gonna end. I mean, come on, like, do we really expect Amanda Nunes to go in and lose it? No, she's probably gonna go ahead and win that. And so, who do you have challenge these two women? Because right now they are sitting at top of the hill, Amanda Nunes and Valentina Shevchenko. And they've already fought twice. But in my opinion, I think they just need to fight each other again. They just need to fight each other again. I don't know. Because there's just no one else. There's no one else. And then we move on to the next fight. Rose Namajunas versus Weili Zhang. I think I said her last name correctly. This is a fight that had a lot of controversy going into it because of some comments that Rose made. A lot of people were really pissed off with that, and all of the controversy surrounding the fight. But the fight itself had a lot of interest going into it. A lot of interest going into it because one, we've already seen Weili in there with a striker, someone that supposedly has better striking than she does in Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and we saw how that one played out. And so the expectation from most was, of course, Weili is going to win the fight. She's the champion. She's experienced. She just got done having a really tough fight against Joanna. Her toughness was able to hold up. She had the grit. She had the tenacity. She was good. Meanwhile, Rose Namajunas, on the other hand, as skilled as she is, there's a few question marks surrounding Rose. How is she gonna enter this fight mentally? Where is she at? And she went into the fight and showed everybody. Completely dominated the fight. The interesting part about the fight, though, is that it seemed like Weili had a really good answer for Rose's jab. I noticed that right away. Really good answer for the jab. A really good way to deal with a fighter that jabs really, really well is to try to time the inside leg kick. The moment because to jab, especially from a distance, you got to step on that leg. And it's quite telegraphed sometimes. So the moment they step on that leg, boom, fire off the inside leg kick. You get them off balance, and then from there you can work. And Weili was doing a very good job of that. Rose would try to step, boom, she inside leg kick, and you can see she taped up her left leg really well, because she was gonna be kicking with that lead leg. That was a huge part of the game plan. And then Rose somehow, it almost felt like some kind of Jedi mind trick that Rose got her with, because when Rose was lifting up that lead leg to throw the roundhouse to the head, you guys will notice Weili pulled back on her own lead leg because she thought it was going to go to the legs, which almost leads me to believe that because Weili has been throwing inside leg kicks at Rose, the moment she saw Rose's legs coming, she instinctively thought, oh, that's an inside leg kick coming, just because of how much focus she put on inside leg kicks, which could be another aspect of fight philosophy, right? Maybe if my opponent is placing a huge amount of focus on one thing, maybe if I give the impression of that thing back to them, they're going to try to defend that thing, but then it creates an opening for me to land something else. So for example, Weili focused so much on landing inside leg kicks, all her brain is going inside leg kick, inside leg kick. She sees Rose trying to throw a kick. She's still thinking inside leg kick. She goes to pull her own leg back. It ends up being a high kick to the head. Beautiful snap high kick. Not Muay Thai style, more like a Taekwondo flick kick. Boom! Caught her clean. Didn't look like the kick had a lot of power to it. Just one of those surprising shots that hits you, and next thing you know, Wei Li is out. Now, she falls to the ground. Rose follows through. Her face is she's face down on the canvas. And of course, the referee stops the fight. She gets up. She's angry. She believes it's a quick stoppage, you know. But it was a very good stoppage. And we have a new champion, Rose Namajunas. And now she's talking about how at this point in her life, she's more centered. She's in a better place to be a champion, because the first time she won the belt, she really wasn't in a good place. But now that she is, and it's like, are they gonna do a rematch? It's most likely gonna end up being an immediate rematch. Is Rose gonna be able to get her again? So many interesting questions, but goddamn impressive. Very impressive. We've not seen that from Wei Li. I don't think we've ever seen her get put away like that. And so this was very good. Very good win for Rose Namajunas. And then the main event. Now I came prepared. I got my drip going. Feel good, look good. Ready for the main event, for the champion to do his thing. Going into it, I was a little bit nervous. I can't even lie. Now, of course, I knew Usman was the better fighter. 100%. He's the better fighter. But just considering the crazy shit that's been going on throughout the card, Weidman getting injured, Rose defeating the champion. Yeah, I don't know about this one. I was a little bit nervous. And you know, the professor was telling me, it's fine, you're good, it's okay. Usman will be okay. And so the fight starts off, and right away, Usman is showing improvement. That's the beautiful thing about this guy. Every single fight, there's an improvement. There's something new that he's doing. And Trevor Whitman, we'll get to that, but Trevor Whitman, the fight starts off and Usman is jabbing to the body, which I was happy about. His jab into the body over and over again. A lot of that might also be a way to disguise the shot, the takedown shot. Because if you jab into the body and you're getting Masvidal to drop the hands, that of course opens up the shot to the head. So tactically speaking, that was a very good idea to start working the body with the jab. And it looked like Usman was going to stand with him. Oh yeah, he is going to he's really standing with Masvidal after everything everybody said. He can't stand with Masvidal. He can't strike with him. Masvidal is too powerful. He's too clean. He's the better striker. But he did, still with him. Of course, he was able to get him to the ground. Masvidal from the bottom was doing a really good job. Elbows, very active on the bottom. Got up to his feet. Get back to standing. And the one thing I noticed is just the same thing, the same shit that you notice all the time with Masvidal. And I wonder if he's going to switch this, if he's going to change this. He gets so into his antics, right? This antics of, you're not hurting me, bro. You're not hurting me, bro. I'm comfy here. I'm good here. You know, Usman would hit him with a solid jab, and you can tell this is hard. And he will back up, drop his hands, and do this huge smile. And it looks good. Aesthetically, it looks really good. It makes the fighter look like a complete badass. Like, I'm not hurt. You just hurt me. It's hilarious. And I was saying, Masvidal got to take this seriously. Because you're smiling at a man who's not smiling back. You're smiling at a guy that's really looking to take your head clean off. And coming into this one, Usman really wanted to put a stamp on it. He really wanted to stop him. He really wanted to. And as a fan, I would have been okay with a decision. Honestly speaking, I would have been 100% okay with a decision. But to watch him do what he did, leads with the left hook, fires off a cross, a right hand that he threw all the way from Nigeria, from Auchi, Nigeria. Masvidal tries to go for a check hook, which, by the way, the last time Masvidal got stopped, it was this exact sequence. Someone showed it on Twitter, and it's so weird. Exact sequence. Tries to go for a check hook. The cross blasts him across the face, and Masvidal is out. He was out before he hit the ground. He falls. Usman gets on top, hammer fists him a little bit, and the fight is over. He outstruck Jorge Masvidal. And this is not something that anybody expected. So far, in case you're not keeping count, he has outstruck Colby Covington. He has outstruck Gilbert Burns with just a jab. And now he also outstruck Masvidal. And every single one of these fighters that he outstruck, he stopped them. He didn't just outstrike them, he finished the fight. He finished Colby Covington, he finished Gilbert Burns, and now he finished Jorge Masvidal. I love GSP as much as the next guy. I do. But I think it's time to maybe start thinking Usman might just be the best welterweight fighter to ever do it. Just saying. Now, GSP has him beat on title defenses. And when GSP was competing, he was doing incredible things against high-level fighters at that time. But if you consider what Usman is doing right now, the skill level, who he's fighting, how he's doing it, he's at the very least. How about this? Can you guys give him the fact that he's at least in the conversation? Maybe you don't say he's the best welterweight ever right now. Maybe it's too early. But can we at least put him in the conversation? Can he at least get a little bit of respect? I understand the man is corny. He's Nigerian. We generally are. It's just the culture we grew up in. You know, a lot of times we say and do corny shit. Forgive us. But can you at least admit that the man is a freaking monster? Minus the way he sounds and what he says in the octagon. Can he get some respect? Because before this, it was, oh, all he does is stump toes. That's all he does. He just stumps toes. He's a decision machine. Not really. He's finishing fights. He's stopping these guys. He's flatlining them. He deserves some respect. He really, really does. And I'm hoping that with this win, MMA fans are going to start coming around to Usman. And hopefully this man starts to finally get the respect that he so dearly deserves. But man, what a card. What a fight card. Fans back in the arena. Booing a little bit, but that's to be expected. Cheering when something incredible happens. I was one of those ones to say, I don't want the crowds back. I like the empty arena. It's a lot better. And in some ways it is. But I'll tell you guys one thing. I am absolutely happy the arena was not empty when Chris Weidman got that injury, because goddamn, we would have heard that. We would have heard that break in an empty arena, and oh my God, I'm so glad that we didn't hear that. Glad the fans are back. Overjoyed to see life slowly going back to normal. The UFC champion, and I know a lot of people completely disagree with what the UFC is doing. But I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see the fans back in there. And yeah, that is it. That is all I've got. Let me know in the comments section what you guys thought about this fight card. Do you think it was good? Did you enjoy it? Specifically, what are your thoughts on Chris Weidman? Do you think this man is cursed? And then let me know who you guys would like to see next for Usman. I think Colby is next. That makes sense. Colby is next. And we'll go from there. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching, folks. I really appreciate it. Thank you to my professor, Tony Casares, for showing up, hanging out, giving me 3 hours of his very valuable time. It means the world to me. And thank you to all of you that also showed up, donated, hung out, were respectful, and just good vibes all around. Really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.